This and see if we can get some answers. It's legal practitioner Liboroso Shoma. Thank you very much for joining us on Nigeria Tonight. Politicians accusing one another is not surprising, of treachery, of betrayal, of vindictiveness. People see it as part of the game. But isn't it worrisome when such accusations involved a revered institution like the judiciary?
I will say, as worrisome as the development is, it is what it is. Our judiciary are not drawn from the moon. They are drawn from amongst us. And the general perception and the corruption that has pervaded the Nigerian landscape, the judiciary is also not insulated from that. And so that is why you find out that consistently, even, President's Court of Appeal, President's Federal High Court, including the Supreme Court and the NGT, take steps to see how reforms can be introduced, and then to ensure that, if the hunter consistently learns to shoot without missing, the bird will learn to fly without perching, figuratively speaking. And if you remember, just recently, the President Court of Appeal also had to reform and restructure the panels sitting, and that the panel were divided into two. All the Court of Appeal cases, all over the Federation were divided into two panels, one in Abuja and one in Lagos. And from, my research, even members of the panel do not even know which panel they are going to sit with. You just get your letter of appointment, and then you get to, either Lagos or Abuja. That's when you know the colleagues that are in your panel. But that said, politicians also know how to throw accusations and play their games. So what Senator Abbo is saying is not new. And also, impliedly, is also admitting that they, have a way of influencing decisions at tribunals and in court. So the accusations are weighty, but unfortunately, they will end in the realm of accusation because nobody will bother to investigate.
All right, let's see if we can move this conversation to maybe a solution kind of angle. You highlighted it yourself. Several years of election petitions in Nigeria. The judiciary is yet to design an effective framework for arriving at verdicts that can really make majority of Nigerians feel and see that justice is done. Some of the judges of the 2023 election tribunals have equally been accused of compromise, with some groups calling for the relocation of the tribunals to Abuja. What's your take generally on this? And would there be any way, in your thinking, that we could actually move these tribunals to Abuja?
Yeah, the tribunals have been moved to Abuja and Lagos. They are only sitting in Abuja and Lagos, and so that had been done. But I also would say that largely, some of these accusations had nothing to do with the judiciary. I have pointed out severally that our constitution and our electoral laws are defective. And a situation where the laws already presume everything done by INEC regular, and then place the burden of proving irregularity on the man who lost the election, and the materials for such proof rest in the hands of INEC. How come nobody's mentioning INEC in all of these things? So it mainly, where a case is bad, it becomes very easy to compromise. And so that's where our laws have placed electoral practice and electoral jurisprudence in Nigeria. You find that most times the election, once conducted, if you snatch and run with the ballot box, it becomes very easy for you, to defend your case in court because the law already presume, that the process is regular. But mind you, this current senator also had been in the eye of the storm. So it's like your reporter said, Uzonna said, it is typical when you lost an election, you look for somebody to blame. But the only way we can solve all of this is to ensure that elections are won and lost at the poll. This idea of consistently waiting for the court to do and undo is giving unnecessary power to the court, and this is no longer democracy. It takes away the power of the people to decide who governs them and give that power to just a 3-member panel, in some cases 5-member panel, or to decide the fate of the majority of voters. And so that's why you see all of these accusations coming in up and down. But then elections really are won on the basis of what what do you call it, on the probability, or not necessarily probability. Elections are won and lost on the preparations of a political party. And then cases also, in most times, are won and lost either on technicality because of the strict nature of the Electoral Act or on the probability of proof. So one would need to review that judgment before you can say categorically that the statement of Senator Abbo is true. Because, mind you, despite all of the issues between them, the same Senator Abbo was seen in Ogun State with Akpabio, escorted him to Ogun State, and then, now that he's been ousted by the courts, he's looking for who to blame.
At least the good news that some of our viewers will take away is that some of these tribunals have been moved to Abuja and Lagos. Little by little changes will come.
They are sitting in Lagos and Abuja. And like I said, all of the panel members, they were just, no, you don't even know your colleagues in the panel. It's until you get to court that day that you see who you're actually sitting with.
I mean, that's a new
innovation that they have introduced. And so it becomes very difficult for you to compromise all of them at the same time.
All right. Thank you very much, Liberace Oshama, for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure.